Arabic roots and patterns. You have already learned that roots and patterns constitute the basis of word formation in Arabic. Now it's time to put your knowledge to the test and try to find the root of the following word. And the word is مشغول, meaning busy. You have until the music stops to come up with an answer. And the root is shin, ghain, lam. Now, let's look at mashghul's pattern. First, some quick facts about patterns. Patterns are the key to forming plurals in Arabic. Some patterns are used much more often than others. Because Arabic tends to distinguish between human and non-human plurals, it is often possible to tell from a plural noun's pattern if it is human or non-human. For example, many human nouns take what is called sound masculine plural, which ends in waw nun, and many sound feminine nouns take feminine whole plural, which ends in alif ta. These are two plural patterns from which we know when we see a noun in this pattern that it is usually referring to a human. For example, say I didn't know what the plural for the word bint was. The word is binad and it ends in alif ta. I would see that it ends in alif ta, and I would know that this is an ending for a noun, and that nouns which refer to humans generally take this ending. So I would know that this was a noun that was talking to, about, or referring to a human. Well, that would be a good guess. However, there's some exceptions to this rule. Now we come to the part of how patterns and roots are related to each other. To form the plural of a word in Arabic, you must take the root of a word and put it into a different pattern. There are over 10 different common plural patterns in Arabic. So, if you want to identify the pattern of a noun, the first step is to isolate the root. So, if we look at our noun, مشغول, and step 1 is to identify the root and isolate it. And as we said before, the root is shin, ghain, lam. So if we remove the root, everything else that you see, including any vowels or extra consonants, other than the root, of course, which is gone, is part of the pattern. So the pattern consists of mim, fatha, sukun, and waw. So now we have our pattern. But we don't write patterns like this in Arabic with empty gaps for the places of the removed root letters. This is where the place-holding generic root comes into play. These place-holding roots fill the gaps of the removed root letters and serve simply to fill the place. They don't give any specific meaning to the word. They just simply act as placeholders so that the pattern can keep its overall shape that it held when it had its real root letters that gave it meaning. And we always use the same 3 letters for this place-holding root. And those letters are fa, ain, and lam. Next, we combine the generic place-holding root with the pattern by having each letter of the generic root fill the space of a removed root letter. So fa fills the second space, and ain fills the third, and lam fills the final space. And the result is maf'ul. Maf'ul. And maf'ul is a pattern that certain words belong to, and all the words in this pattern take the same form of plural.